You're not going to believe what Case just did. Let's light it up. TC here with Smoky Mountain Knife Works, smkw.com. I got the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only
Hey, TC.
Mari Ford.
Glad to be here, man.
Absolutely,
Appreciate it.
man. And so we try to do this every year before SHOT Show and before Blade Show.
Yes.
Twice a year. It's when we get to take a look at things before everybody else gets to see it.
Kind of our sneak peek,
yeah,
right? Kind of an
show
intro.
everybody a preview of
Yeah.
what's going on. So actually, we're recording this on Tuesday. We're going to put this out on Friday, maybe Thursday. We'll see. But
Get me in trouble. But that, hey, I've been there before. I've been there before. So,
but we're getting a sneak peek at some of the stuff that you guys are going to be offering at Blade Show and going forward with Case's line of knives. And we're looking at some really cool innovations, some stuff that I got to be honest, kind of shocked me when you pulled it out of the bag here.
well, there's a lot of things going on at Case. You know, we are cranking through our slip joints as quick as we can. That is still our bread and butter. I want to start with that because you're going to look at this and be like, man, where is Case?
Where's the
I
slip
think
joint?
you guys even said, where's my slip joint? So we've got some new stuff that we'll be talking about there as well. Some of that we've already done a video on. A lot of our modern stuff, and this is where we've been able to kind of lean in our production. We're able to get some scale on that. We're able to increase some capacity. So our engineers, our innovations team have been really busy kind of adding on to some of the things that we've done. Got some great new collaborations that we're going to be introducing at Blade Show as well. You're right. Blade Show is kind of that second tier kickoff for us, right? SHOT Show is a great one. Blade Show is kind of that industry show that everybody's looking to say, hey, what's new and exciting? And hopefully we're not going to disappoint with a lot of our Marilla, Kenzu, Westline that we've got, and then we've got some of our new collaborations. So
absolutely.
Hopefully you'll like it. Hopefully everybody will like it.
So first, let's start with the Westline here.
Yes.
So this is the Westline right here,
Yes.
as we know it today.
Yes.
And I will say, one thing that I've heard people say is, man, that thumb stud is in a horrible position. But then they get it in hand and they're like, oh my gosh, that
fits perfectly,
that actually
right?
works.
Yes.
That it feels good. So that's changed a lot of people's mind. Another thing that I hear is that might be a little bland.
Right.
So we're dressing it up a little bit, and I got to say, compared to the original here, that is
it's totally
sexy.
different. It's totally different, right? So, you know, the one thing great about the Westline is it's a liner lock. So you're able to do a few more things with that. We've got that anodized aluminum. You know, we did that in blue, we did it red, we did it in black, we did it in that clear. But now we're able to play around a little bit. So this is going to be our marbled carbon fiber version. You've got that assisted opening. And you're right. A lot of folks, when they look at that, said that thumb stud was kind of in the way or a little, it's pretty aggressive. But when you're actually launching that and when you're firing that knife, to me, it feels like it's in the perfect spot. So you've got a little different, you know, the blade configuration here. You're going to have that deep carry pocket clip. We've heard over and over, and we're working on some screws for our pocket clip that are not as proud. I think this first one, those screws are awfully proud. I'm like, yeah, I do see where you're saying that. But you're going to see that start to come up. We're going to start to transition through a little more flathead screws on that pocket clip. But this is going to be available in 3 new handle materials for blade. We're going to have that marbled carbon fiber, you know, just kind of that what you expect to look at when you see a beautiful carbon fiber knife. This one is going to retail for $194.99, so it's still got an aggressive retail on it. It is assisted opening, S35, going to have that stonewash blade. So it is going to have a lot of those characteristics of the first, but we're kind of upping it with some of the handle materials. So,
and I got to say that price point is kind of surprising because honestly, I expected to hear with all carbon fiber, if you look across the market at different brands. I'm not going to name any names or anything, but I would expect to see that no less than $215 or $220, maybe even $224. But coming in at $194.
Yes, $194.99. So, and we even challenged, you know, some of our folks were like, "Man, carbon fiber, is that really going to take the price super high?" And obviously, it's a premium material, but we were proud that we're able to do that. We also did a couple of marbled carbon fibers. So, and this is going to be like a fiber weave. You're going to see that white. It's going to have a weave. It's going to be like a G10 fiber weave you're going to see in there. This is going to be the same retail. So both of these are going to retail for that $194.99. But you're going to see, and you know, some of these, I know the camera's going to pick it up great, but sometimes you can just see, you can see this in person and it jumps right out at you. It is fantastic. These are going to have that stonewash finish again on the blade, those S35 blades. we're going to have that one, and then we're going to have this black and blue. This is really sweet, man, really sweet. So you're going to have.
Yeah.
Isaac was talking about that. We're like, which one's going to show up the best as maybe a thumbnail or something? We're like, I don't know. That black and blue shows up really good. So does the white. As far as which one I think that I'm going to carry, I'm probably just going to carry the marbled carbon fiber.
Yeah, that one's pretty classy right there.
I've been called a traditional guy before, TC. I think maybe that's why. That's what I think about when I think of carbon fiber. I really, really like that. So
yeah.
So we're excited to have these. These are going to be launching at Blade. So on Friday, you'll also be able to find them on smkw.com. I just talked to your crew there. We've got all the setups. We've got everything. So you're going to be able to order those. Our hope is that those West lines will be shipping by early August. So
awesome.
And actually, the West line hopefully might even be a little bit quicker than that. So
that's awesome.
We've got those.
That's good to hear. Now, you didn't stop there with the carbon fiber.
Right.
You just kept right on.
We just kept running. Man, I tell you what, we get something. It's kind of like a case trapper, right? You get a blue one, you got to have a red one, you got to have something else. So what we did with that was we actually took that through the Marilla, and again, the Marilla is this was our knife of the year in 2021. This one we launched at Blade Show. So it's appropriate that we come back. You guys know this more than I do. When I look at knives, these are frame locks. So obviously the backside is still going to be anodized aluminum.
Right.
You can't do a carbon fiber frame lock.
Right.
But you're going to have that. So the mark side, as we call it, or the front side, is going to have that. You're going to have that weave carbon fiber. You're going to have that white and black. The Marilla, if you're familiar, has the inlay.
Right.
So this is not a true inlay. This is actually we just milled the inlay.
Yeah, textured milling there. Yeah.
So it does give you that look of an inlay. It gives you that texture. A lot of folks really like that. But you're going to see that in the Marilla. You're going to see it again in the white. You're also going to see it in that blue. And then you've got the regular carbon
the
fiber.
Drop close on that, and I just reverse flicked it too.
Yes.
But the drop close. Let's
showing off a little bit here. I know reverse flicked it. So you need to teach me some of those things.
Look at that drop close.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. And reverse flick.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice. Marilla is the one. I'm a traditional guy. I always carry just a slip joint, but I've started carrying a Marilla, and I've carried it now for almost 3 years. Love that knife.
Yeah.
That is actually. I've determined why everybody loves a good steel. They love that S35. Just the flipper action, the deep carry pocket clip is great. You're also going to find that those same handles are going to be available in our Kinzu, and you're going to find that in just the spear point blade. So we're going to have that with the marbled carbon fiber spear point, and again, it's going to have that stonewash finish. You're going to have probably my favorite. You're going to have just that marbled, the black, and then you're going to have that. The black and white. So you're going to be able to have all of these. And we've looked and kind of tracked it. Sales of the Kinzu and Marilla are pretty similar. People, it all is a matter of preference. Some like that smooth handle. They rather it just stay that way. Others like that texture or that inlay of the Marilla.
Right. And for a comparison, like here's the aluminum version right here. And you can see like that just, it does. It classes it up some. So price point wise, for the Marilla,
so these will be $174.99. The Marilla and the Kinzu. In the regular version, the Marilla is just a touch more because it has a G10 inlay.
Right.
Well, this is just it's not a real inlay, so they're both going to be right there at that $174.99 with the carbon fiber handle on the mark side that weave. So yeah, we're really trying to hit that price point that's affordable, that's going to get that modern case knife into people's hands.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's a really, really good price point to get that carbon fiber.
And just all the characteristics of it, right? When you look at the type of steel, when you look at the ball bearing, flipper action, you've got.
And there is a little bit of a weight difference.
Yes.
Too.
Yeah.
You're talking about a little bit lighter weight across the board there. So.
Yeah, that carbon fiber is going to be a little lighter than the aluminum. So. Hopefully it's going to score some points with a lot of folks. But if they're coming to our booth at Blade, obviously we're going to have Smoky Mountain Knife Works will be set up selling.
Yep.
There'll be some of these that you could pick up at Blade on the Marilla and the Kinzu. So you're going to be able to get the black and blue versions of the Marilla and the Kinzu at the Smoky booth in the case booth at the Blade Show. So if you want to be the cool guy that gets to have one day one of launch.
Right.
you can actually have that at the show. So we're excited about
Blade
that.
Show.
Yes.
So, I do have one more question before we move on.
Yes.
Now, we have seen one model of the Marilla that has 20 CV blade steel.
Yes.
Is that going to be something that might be spreading?
Yeah. So we're looking at some of that. You know, we did a slip joint family last fall, kind of shipped early in the year, a little bit late.
S35.
S35. So we're looking
No
at
comment.
some other blade steels. The 20 CV was another one that
Right.
we really liked. You know, and again, me kind of being relatively new to this, I asked some industry folks, hey, what's the difference in 20 CV and S35? And, you know, one's toughness and one's blade retention, right? So you'll see some of those tougher steels and some of that 20 CV, I think, is what blade retention was all about, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be incorporating a lot of those into a lot of these other families. Not so much at Blade. We still have that 20 CV available.
Right.
If you want to get that, they can still get that one. But there's not going to be a lot of new products introduced at Blade Show with that. But just hold on, because we got some other cool stuff that's coming later in the year, or maybe at SHOT Show. But that I tell you, the innovation train is rolling really good. So,
and speaking of that, you guys have got some new fixed blades that you guys are making.
Yes.
They're not being outsourced. They're being made by Case in Bradford.
Yes. So we introduced those folks that were at our 2022 SHOT Show. We announced a collaboration with Roland Welker and Laramie Miller. So if you're not familiar with those names, maybe Google them. But Roland Welker, he was the winner of Alone, that very popular show, season 7. So he was the 100-day
guy. Yeah.
He survived. He killed a muskox with a knife. Asked him if it was a Case knife. He hesitated a minute, but he said yes. So I don't know if it's because of the collaboration or it truly was a Case knife, but he killed a muskox, so he was able to survive. But both of these guys, and Laramie Miller, he's known as the Sasquatch. So if you're ever around him, you don't have to wonder why he got that nickname.
Right.
The dude, he was
massive.
A football player, but just a big dude.
Yeah,
he's kind of he is an all-natural Western. He's the original cowboy.
Yeah.
So both of these guys have TV shows on different channels throughout there, but both have kind of a history. Both have kind of proven themselves as outdoorsmen, bushcrafting. And so we announced that collaboration last SHOT Show. So through that time, we've been designing, letting them have input in design, making sure that this is appropriate for a Welker or a Laramie Miller. And at Blade Show, we're ready to announce that. So got some really cool knives here. You're right. These are all... some of the equipment that we're using. We'll start with the big boy here. I think.
Oh my God, that thing is
some
so
of the
gorgeous.
Equipment that we're using now.
That barely fits in the screen.
I know, right? It's the full thing. So this is our Sasquatch buoy, Bowie.
Get that to focus in there.
You'll have a lot better. So that has got that recurve blade. Now that's going to be a 1095 blade with our Caswell finish. So that Caswell finish is some of the finishes we used on a lot of our Winkler.
Yeah.
It's kind of a protective coating. So that 1095 is going to be a high carbon steel, but that Caswell finish is going to protect that. You've got that natural micarta. It's a pretty thick handle micarta. You're going to have...
Isaac said it smelled thick.
It smelled... Yeah, I know, right? I smelled it too. I don't know. It's one of those things. He said that. I'm like, I guess he's right. I don't know what that's supposed to smell like, but it did. So the blade pummel, the handle pummel. So you've got that. If you're hammering on something, it's obviously got a lanyard. You can do paracord wrap. You can have it. That's going to come with a genuine leather sheath.
Yeah.
If you come by the Blade Show, I'll have the sheath. These are brand new, off the presses.
Right.
Some things about a sneak peek, you got to get
right.
You don't
you just got to go with the flow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I got to say, so you already told us you can send us one of these for torture testing. You promised that.
Yeah. Did I promise? Hey, listen. You know what? You do, I'll swear to. You lie, I'll swear to. Is that what they say?
There we go.
So no, but we would like to send one because these are made. These are going to made to be rough and tumble, really rugged. Yeah. That is 13 inches overall. The blade is 7 3/4 inches. So
look at that.
That is a true Bowie knife.
Yeah.
When you think of Bowie in the true sense, I love the recurve shape of that blade. I think it's going to have some great cutting potential. Just going to be a great knife.
And I love the edge geometry on this. It's going to make for a really strong edge because this has got a lot of blade stock behind that edge.
Yes.
So really good blade geometry on that and just feels
we've got
so
some
good
great
in the hand.
we've got some great videos talking about a toughness test. It's actually Laramie out in the wild using it, and he was hitting something and hammering the top. I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to do that, but hey, it's tough enough. But you're right, it's got enough. It's got enough thickness, got enough gauge, and all these knives are going to kind of be in that survivalist bushcrafting. That's kind of, and we're seeing obviously I think the industry's seeing a lot of that, but also something that we felt with those collaborations that these just made a lot of sense.
Now, what's the price point on this one?
That's going to be $184.99, and that's going to come with that genuine leather sheath too. So, yeah. We're trying, man. We're trying.
You're impressing me.
Yeah.
I'm liking it now.
So if
this
that's
is in
a
that
little
same
much,
line.
if that's a little much, this is the other Laramie Miller, and this is going to be the Sasquatch Skinner. So that's the Sasquatch Bowie. This is the Sasquatch Skinner. Again, $10.95. It's going to have that Caswell finish. So you're going to have that blade coating. You've got this natural micarta, that thick smelling micarta that Isaac talks about. Full tank construction, obviously. This is also going to have a genuine leather sheath. So this is going to be great. This one is a little less than 9 inches overall. It's 8 3/4, but it's 3 7, almost 4-inch blade. So and it's got that great Skinner blade too. So
oh yeah,
and you're right.
It's gonna be really easy for control. Like if you're using it to skin something, you can get that finger out on that edge there, and you can just unzip that hide with that kind of control. I love that for that.
So both of these guys, again, they are avid outdoorsmen, and some of they were doing the design, and I'm like, man, is anybody else going to put it to the kind of test that they are? And they're like, well, if it will stand up to the things that they're going to use it
to
for,
our standards,
then pretty much, if you're a casual camper, an outdoorsman, or a bushcrafter, you're going to be like, yeah, that's going to do exactly what I need, and it'll make a lot of sense. That's a great knife, though. I really, really like that one. That one's going to retail for $164.99.
Nice.
So
that is, I love it.
So,
I love it.
So that is our Laramie Sasquatch Miller. If you're at the Blade Show, he's going to be in our booth a couple of times each day. So hopefully you can come by and get your picture made with him. You can talk to him about it. Folks that really are going to use that can actually get kind of his take on it as, hey, why the recurve blade? Why the why the finish? Whatever it may be. But it's a great time to visit and talk about those things. But just don't upset the man.
I will say,
take you down.
I do love, and this is just small and it's cosmetic, but I love the laser etching on the blade. It looks, it's understated, but it's classy, and it just looks really good. It's not a billboard. It tells you the information that you want to know. It tells you the blade steel. It tells you who made it.
Right.
And I love that.
Hopefully it's great. Now, this is called the first one, the Laramie Miller and the Roland Welker. We're considering that our Pro Series. So, obviously the collaborations, but we're looking at, hey, this is your professional outdoorsman.
Yeah.
This is the guy. If it's good enough for the professional outdoorsman, hopefully it's good enough for any of us, or certainly anything I would use it for. But yeah, so that's going to be our Pro Series. You're right. It's going to be marked on the blade. You're going to have all the case markings to identify that, and something we're really proud of. Again, this is kind of we're pioneering a little area on the case side for us.
Absolutely.
And so far, so good. So So we'll see. Hopefully everybody comes by and likes it too.
Now we've got a couple of other ones here.
Yeah. So Roland Welker, the other guy, that's the 100-day king, right?
Yeah.
Roland was the survivor. Man, he is a no-nonsense guy. If you get a chance to visit with him, he's a real deal. He's a real outdoorsman. No frills, but that's who he is. That's his character, and I love it. It's great. But he, again, he was the winner of that season 7 of Alone.
Right.
I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not. We can't write it. I don't know all these trademarks, but everybody knows him. Everybody knows him for that. 100-day king, I think, is what we're putting in a lot of our literature that we're going to have. He's going to be in our booth as well. But this first one, this is going to be we call it the RW100 Hunter. This is 13 inches overall, so this is almost like another Bowie knife as far as the size. But it's going to be slimmer. It's going to have that same natural micarta handle. You're going to see it kind of tapered a little bit in there. You're going to see tapered on the edges. It's going to have that kind of that routed out area. It's going to be a little bit of a gap in there, which is really cool. I think it kind of dresses it up a little bit. This is going to have a stonewash finish, so it's going to be a little different finish. Mm-hmm. Again, you got the pommel. You're going to have that pommel. You're going to have that lanyard on the pommel. You're going to have some jimping right here. So yeah, if you're skinning with that, I don't know, but it's just a good grip, right?
And let's take a look at how thick that blade stock is right there. I mean, that's what, almost a quarter of an inch right there.
Yeah, definitely a heavy gauge. And again, this is 1095.
Yeah.
1095 with the stonewash. So all of our Pro Series is going to be 1095. And we're going to have the Caswell finish on Laramie Miller. We're going to have the stonewash on the Roland Welker. So again, this is going to come with a genuine leather sheath. A lot of the sheaths, the redesign of some of those is so it would hang right. So when you're,
Right.
if you put this on the side of your belt and you sit down, some of these are going to hang a little lower. So
Right.
everything was thought out by these guys. Again, just a handy tool, the working tool. This one's going to retail for $164.99. So again, I feel like we got a good retail on it.
Yeah.
We've got that great characteristic of all those things. So a lot of knife for that.
That is
a lot of knife.
I love that. That's ideal. That's beautiful. I mean, that's a lot of knife for that price right there. And in 1095, that's going to be a beast.
Yeah. So the RW100, again, that is our larger knife in that. And then we're going to have, I said in the picture, this looks a little smaller, but this is going to be our caper, the RW caper. And again, everything they did was very mission specific. You can see the jimping on top of that. This is 8 3/4 overall, so it's not a small knife. First I looked at it on the picture, and I'm like, kind of looks like a kitchen knife or something like that, but it is not. It's got that heavy natural micarta handle, full tang construction, kind of a lanyard hole in there as well. Again, 1095 with the stonewash finish. This will also come with the leather sheath. The blade itself is 3 3/4 inches, so. Again, you got a lot of cutting
do-it-all
surface.
blade right there. Absolutely.
This feels like absolutely. I think for me, probably the most practical of the bunch. Again, I'm not your survivalist. I don't know that I could. I wouldn't last 100 days. I promise you that. So, but that is a great knife. Just all four again as part of our Pro Series, and some of the things that we're going to have there. And again, if your folks are at the Blade Show, or you're going to see some videos. Hopefully, you guys will come by there and get a chance to talk to those guys. But we're real excited about those collaborations in that Pro Series, as well as some of our modern stuff. And then we've got kind of the next step in the collaboration. And some of you were at the Blade Show, Texas. We announced kind of an early announcement of a collaboration on a slip joint. So, for more than 20 years, we partnered with Tony Bose.
Yeah.
Dear friend, legendary Hall of Fame guy, knife maker. When Tony passed a couple years ago, we were kind of at the crossroads. Do we continue with a collaboration? Do we, what does that look like for us? And quite frankly, who would you get to follow Tony Bose?
Absolutely.
So, and there's no one that could follow in that same regard. But after a couple years, we have talked to another legendary knife maker. Actually one that Tony mentored a lot. When we talked to him originally, he was talking about how much he learned from Tony and how he collaborated with Tony and what high regard he had for Tony. But Mr. Bill Ruppel was inducted into the Blade Hall of Fame last year as a legendary knife maker. He is head of the slip joint cartel. I think I said mafia the first thing. It's like, oh, Mario, it's not a mafia. I'm like, what? Isn't that the same thing? No, but what he does is the slip joint. So he's from Texas. There is obviously a huge contingency of slip joint folks in Texas. So to be regarded as the head of that obviously speaks volumes as well. But we've started working with him this year. We're hoping by Blade that we're going to have some collaborations in that slip joint. Again, for those Case tried and true loyalists like myself, we are a slip joint company at the core. We're doing some really cool stuff with modernizing and some really great modern EDC, Pro Series and things like that. But we're excited, and Bill Ruppel will be in our booth also at Blade. He has his own
in and
booth.
out.
In and out. So he's got his own booth. So he'll be like Tony. Tony would sit at his tables and sell his knives really quickly, and then he would come over and hang out with us some. But we could not be more excited or proud to be partnering with Bill Ruppel going forward. It'll kick off in 24, but we want to go ahead and get the industry warmed up to that. I think I told you off camera, one of the things that really kind of cemented the type of person that Bill was to me was, we approached him and we were real excited, and he was a little hesitant, not because he loves case knives. He loves case knives. So I'm like, you've got to be our guy. But he said, the history and the legacy of Tony Bose, I wouldn't want to do anything with that. So he called Tony's family, called Reese, and said, hey, before I make any commitment at all, I want to make sure that you guys are on board with this. Is this can I honor Tony in this way? And absolutely, we're like, man, that really spoke highly to me of him and his character, his regard for Tony, and the fact that we definitely are the right guy.
So, absolutely. And I mean, what a great way to carry on that legacy.
Yes.
And to keep that kind of a driving force going with Case Knives. I think that's
the collaborations were always, and we would talk to Tony about this. So collaborations are great for the brand. It's great for people, but it's also great for our manufacturing. So Tony brought things in that were custom level that he taught our engineers how to do on a larger scale. So it's like, this is how, if you're having trouble with blade fall or locking mechanisms, whatever it may be, really what they do as a custom maker, you can incorporate, like, maybe we just re-engineer that a little bit. So he taught us a ton. I know we'll have that same experience with Bill Ruppel, and super excited about that, and just really everything coming out in the fall. And we're excited about these products, Pro Series, new collaborations, all sorts of stuff.
That's awesome. So, I love it. And I think it's great. And I love seeing you guys catch up, because that's been something that, man, we've given you a hard time about.
Hey, you know what? And I told you, my skin has gotten very thick. We are not caught up, but we are inching our way towards that direction. And that's good. We appreciate everybody that's kind of stuck with us, that obviously Smoky Mountain Knife Works has stuck with us. As we've continued to get more production, continued to work our folks really hard, and they're doing it because they love what they do and they love to get knives in your hands. But we're adding a few people to our workforce, and that's helpful. Takes them a while to they're good at it. So so we don't let them handle too much on the wheels yet, but they're getting there. They're getting there.
Absolutely. Folks, as always, it's been me, TC, here with Smoky Mountain Knife Works, smkw.com, along with Mari Ford. Mari, thank you so much.
TC, thank you, man. Appreciate what you guys are doing, and look forward to a fantastic blade show.
Absolutely. Let us know in the comments down below what you think about these new lines, especially the fixed blades and all the carbon fiber. Absolutely love it. And if you're going to be anywhere near Atlanta on this weekend, June, what is the second, third, fourth?
Yes.
Fifth, right in there.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, second, third, fourth. Yes, second, third, fourth. Come by Blade Show. It is something that you do not want to miss. Go visit Case. Come by and see us. We're all right there in the same area, same location. You're not going to want to miss getting these in your hands. Absolutely. As always, folks, remember, if it cuts like a new Case knife, then we carry it. Yeah.